Every day, I was just saying this out loud, and I thought that, let me reframe. Let me begin. I was just saying it out loud, and I thought that this should be added into the intro. Every day is a new chance to not become an evil narcissist. Every day. And very few, if almost nobody, takes that opportunity. I was listening to Elijah's thoughts because they're so like prevalent in my life. And he was going, just because I'm not taking action doesn't make me evil. And I go, like, that's the very definition of evil. It's the people who won't take action, and then the shit hits the fan. It's a really common trait amongst the men of this planet that they pretend they do like 5 good things. They do their work, and then they're stone cold solid. Even if their work includes raping and pillaging the planet, they think that that's acceptable and that they don't have to do the adequate work or repair work that is required for them to even balance out their spectrum. And then they go ahead and then say, oh, because I'm not taking action to do like real big work, like real big God's agenda work, that makes them not evil. And honestly, like, that's why there are a million kids in the rape trade. Is the people saying, just because I'm not going to take action doesn't make me evil. That's exactly what it makes you. Is evil. Period, you know? So it's the award-winning intelligence thoughts of a 40-year-old has-been movie star. Who has a power complex this big, yet he likes to tell everybody that they're not allowed to have power. The world's biggest hypocrite. Mind blown. Okay, so I was watching my videos and I was astounded by how much I was swearing. And it's off. It's off the, like, needs to be in the trash, in the bucket. No more swear words. Like, the appropriate swear word here or there is acceptable. But it got really bad. But this is why it got really bad. I'm not going to excuse it like I want to perpetuate it, but I want to explain why it happened. I am in the world's worst black hole of Kabbalah right now. I am crossing the abyss into Bina. We already did Dot, I believe. We're crossing the abyss into Bina. Yeah, we did Dot because he lit the candle and I made him go buy it. Yep. So we're doing that. I had another student that tapped out at Gebra. We're also in Gebra here in Kabbalah 99. In Kabbalah 100, I'm at Hode with somebody. And then in another Kabbalah 100, I'm at the World. And the World is run by Saturn. It's like the world's worst horror show is what the World is, okay? So I'm literally in the black darkness of reality. And I'm struggling, right? If I can go through the pit storm like this and find a sense of light and non-cruelty, then that's what we're bringing to the universe. Because there's a huge as above, so below teaching. So it feels like the dark harmonic convergence is what I'm going through. And it's pretty insane because, like, I'm having to be stabbed or shot at or, like, really awful stuff in the astral planes by spiritual teachers that think they have some kind of mastery or authority over me, and they have none. They don't have any even recognition of their own quantum field. So, like, the Dalai Lama's like the dark avatar, Elijah Wood's like Amon, Star acts like Kuvira, and Spielberg acts like Tarlock, okay? And then Babaji is like Zahir. So Babaji's redeemable. He's like one of the, and then Star's like, I'm trying to be good, you know? And we're talking about like the lowest astral selves. And if they don't have access or like recognition of what their astral energy is doing, they are no masters at all. So it's convenient. Like, so it's pretty bad. So Babaji, with all of his knives and all of his stabbing energy and all this crazy stuff, that was Zahir. So I'll still have conversations with Babaji and I'll learn from him, and he's a master. Like, of all of them, he's the master, okay? In the spirit world. And I'll joke with him, but like, I don't trust his energy at all. And he can work on it, but it's just that simple. He's a lot like Peter Pan, you guys. Like, he's a lot like Peter Pan. So as I'm in Gabriel, I'm like taking on the psychic attack, not only of spiritual teachers, but of like anybody who thinks they're some kind of healer or alpha, that somehow they're an authority figure to me. And because I'm breaking loose of their controls, now they're trying to attack me. Because as I reach Gabriel, I'm stepping into my own self-empowerment, where none of them have any spiritual authority over me at all. And all they try to do is continue to recreate the enslavement. So, which is pretty self-destructive on their part and very short-sighted. And not any of them has passed the Hufflepuff. Not one of them. Babaji can probably do it if he really wanted to. And then we'll get him into Ravenclaw. But, like, this is where they're at, you know? So, yeah, like, So I'm in the dark hole of like all of the Kabbalah. I'm literally on the pillar of severity and the world. And like, instead of these people sending me healing energy all day long, they send me crap. And that's how I know. Instead of receiving like light from them, instead of receiving marshmallow jelly and honey goo all day long from them, I've been receiving like snide comments, attacks, like them manipulating me as into like, oh, I'm really sorry, I want to change, and then they they use it to lure me in, and then they stab me again. And it's pretty infantile. But because of all this attack, I have been going, fuck, fuck, fuck. I'm just thinking in swear words at this moment. Because I'm just like, I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to, like, get through without being attacked every minute of every day. And I'm pretty ashamed and embarrassed for all of them. It's gross. So, the level of self-awareness or reasonability, like that I can even go to them to ask for their help, and they would respond with grace and gratitude and go, yeah, I really want to fix that. Like, zero on all of them. So now, like, that's where it's like, it's like a clear message. Star would rather call me a murderer right now than, like, send me marshmallow healing jelly and honey all day long. And then she'll vote for the biker that was coming after me over me. It's pretty demonic. So it's pretty embarrassing on her part, considering she thinks of herself as a master. And considering the fact she won't even read the truth around, like, what happened. It's pretty gross. But that's also why she blames her obesity on genetics instead of choice. It's the same thing. Yeah, lack of reasonability, lack of common sense, lack of connection and communication is a sign of demon. So, yay, Slytherin. Now, as I get a little stronger and more profound, and I have the adequate self-defense set up so that I trust none of them at all with anything, not even an inch. I, like, my defense, my self-defense needs to be set up where they don't even have an inch. Because they'll use that inch to sucker punch me. And they have displayed that over and over constantly. As I build that, like, strong self-defense, my ability to communicate strengthens, and I have to use less swear words. Like, so I was thinking about this yesterday because we were at Oxford, and some angry, mean lady, like, Simon's trying to take me to the Harry Potter Christ Church, where it's like the Harry Potter grounds in the first two movies. And just the grass foyer. She wouldn't even let me, like, go to the edge of the gate to, like, look. She was just like mean, angry lady that has, like, no care or compassion and just nothing, you know? Doesn't matter if, like, just nothing. I could have been Jesus healing her and her children, you know? And she just spit on me all day long. And it's gross. So I'm there, and I'm thinking about, like, the non-cruelty grid, and I'm wondering, I'm like, how do I get this? Like, how do I push this non-cruelty through? Man, I'm losing my train of thought. But it came to the point where I was really grossed out by my own language, because I've been seeing my videos in my language. And I'm thinking, I'm going to probably end up having to master this like Misty Copeland masters pain in ballerinadom. So it's like you will be taking hits constantly, and you still have to put on a facade of not being under excruciating torture and pain. So that somehow it still is eloquent and masterful. And so it's like getting past the goal and into ballerina. So, and where's the non-cruelty in that? And that's a double-edged thing, because it's like, yeah, it's non-cruel. And this is the unhealthy side of the Tudor teaching of Gryffindor. It is cruel for me to have to look back on my video and not see mastery. So it would be more profound if I took the hits and still came out on top and elevated than to take the sucker punches and then go, oh, fuck. Because that just, like, there will be a sense of, like, maybe love, or like, yeah, like that was legit in the past. I don't know. Like, all I know is that it'd probably be better for me to clean up everything, even under extreme pain. So, and then I hear Spielberg going, but that's all we want, is for you to, like, clean up your act and your language. I want 50 million things from Spielberg, because he's going to become dragon meat, you know? So, it's just... So, dragons, like, even Lucifer's like, God doesn't care if you swear, you know? Like, Lucifer's like, the dragons are like the heart of the issue, the truth of the issue, instead of the facade. It's the demons that need the facade. The demons. The demons need to hear you speaking in prose and, like, poetry, and because they need the vanity of it. Because without the vanity of it, it's criminal what all of these people have done to me. And then to still hold me like I'm supposed to be a Stepford wife princess. But I'll do it. But only for me. Not for them. For them, they're gonna be eating shit. The minute I get my magic where I'm able to, like, throw shit into their mouths and stuff it down their throats, I'm gonna. Like, so this is a really clear indicator. Clean up your spiritual energy. And if you don't know how to clean it up, be accessible and available for other people to, like, comment on attack or anything that they might be receiving, so that then you can accommodate their needs and work with them in a reasonable capacity. Yeah. Dalai Lama is the dark avatar. It's gross. He's also a bit of a pedophile. Likes little girls. I wonder if that's manifested in the physical world. I don't know, though. Let's get moving. Tactical dispositions. Visualize your advantages. This is why even Babaji will come in to shame the Dalai Lama, because Babaji's not really Babaji's not a sex perv, and Babaji is real annoyed with the Dalai Lama. It's pretty funny, and Babaji will slay him. This is why at the end, Korra and Zahir are kind of friends. Even if Zahir's pretty creepy. Somebody's light side. When you hit the bottom of the clippeth and you see their shadow, you go, that light side's not real. Because the shadow's there. And if that light side was real, the shadow would be cleaned out. So if you look at somebody's root chakra and it says they're a bad person, this is why we do a lot of root chakra work. You are only as good as your actions. So your root chakra should be healthily glowing red. And where the red's love and red octopus, mother. We're going to do that healing because that's the healthy archetype of the root chakra. Because otherwise you become a criminal. And it's not father, it's mother, as in divine mother. So red octopus in the root chakra. And that's why it's the octopus, You should probably have a red octopus in the root chakra, the lower root chakra in between your thighs, a red octopus at your I want to say your ankles or your shins, and then the red octopus is beneath your feet. And then it just reminds you of the Rapello squib tum grid. And then you go, oh, if you're not a good person, you're going to get 0 magic. So if you haven't been blessed by the octopus energy, you might be not a muggle, but you ain't going to be doing stuff physically ever, So this is where it's all Slytherins will have to go into Hufflepuff, or they get no magic, So this is where we might completely undermine all of it. That Netsock house, that Slytherin house, would only be for people that have done the prerequisite work, and then they go straight into Hufflepuff. It's a 1-month pit stop, and that is it. We'll see. We'll see what we can do, The mental, emotional, alchemical transmutation of going from Netsock into Tiferet is so severe. It's so severe. It's the difference between wanting to shoot 1 million people and go, oh crap. No, figure out that, So that's and we're talking about from the lower planes, right? Not from our higher selves desire. We're talking about in our body. And if you think about how many people are on this planet, you go, everybody's there. In their body. It's pretty scary. It's real scary. Because they go, nobody loves me. And then they go, I'm just going to shoot up a school. Or so, man, it's we're headed into a really scary future. It's like people all of a sudden start getting power and still have issues, like real issues. Man, I have issues in Gryffindor. Like, so other people are gonna have real issues in Slytherin, you know? And oh God. All right. Tactical dispositions. Visualize your advantages. This is the chapter I needed. I'm gonna start stuttering. This is. All right. Sun Tzu said, "The good fighters of old first put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat, and then waited the Let's break down that sentence. The good fighters of old first put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat." I'm pretty sure that's like, how do I make sure I'm not defeated? and fight from that platform. And then waited for an opportunity of defeating the enemy. So how do I make sure my platform is as secure as possible? And then lay in wait. And wait. And maintain my platform, make it stronger, and then wait. To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands. But the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. This is where I'm a little confused and I needed this lesson. So, I can build my defense system over and over and over again. Platform, 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 platform. Okay? But if I step off that platform to aggressively attack my enemy, I think I weaken my stance. So this is where Kill Bill and Black Mamba, like, did she wait for the opportunity or did she hunt? And then she still was successful. But even when she was hunting the brother like shot her, you know, and then buried her in the dirt. So that was not really a success move on her part. So like, if you're gonna go hunting, try to do just reconnaissance work instead of attack work, and like let that come to you. This is that yin it to win it component, because your enemy is gonna also wait for you to make a mistake. All the time. They're gonna feed off of it. So it's better for you to create the healthiest self-defense as possible. Now, The male agenda on this planet. Elijah says it. Even Simon says it. It's so gross. The best defense is a good offense. It does not say that here in The Art of War. Like, even Lucifer understood that that's not true, you know? Lucifer is like, the best offense, or the best offense is a good defense, you know? Like, the best defense is a good defense. Period. So, like, to secure ourselves against defeat. So that's self-defense. Securing ourselves against defeat. That's like making sure our body, our brain, our army, everything, our morale, our plans, making sure everything is so tight that it's undefeatable. Like you get the Titanic lesson. You know, even the Titanic sinks, right? So then you need like plan B's, plan C's, and make sure all the armies, you know, all of it's reconciled. And then maybe we're like, yeah, okay, that's better. And then so, like, just that. Find every hole, every fallacy, and then secure. Here it is. So, like, this says opportunities, awareness, viable options. So this is the other component of knowing thy enemy, and why in Redcliffe the woman's spy was like so important. And same with the woman who made the tea, did the tea ceremony. They were so important because, like, you have to know the enemy's plans or something about the enemy to strike. Period. So you can't strike blindly without getting your head chopped off. Failure's over here. So you take from the opportunities that present themselves in the physical, real world. Not in some fake fantasy land of thinking that everything's fine and dandy. Everything is not fine and dandy. So, and then awareness. You need to have awareness. So in Gabra's like red pill. And that's why the egg looks like a red pill. So it's like, we did that on purpose. Charlie wanted me to tell everybody. We did that on purpose. We made the Gryffindor egg look like a red pill. Coated in candy apple, you know? So, it is from this space you can see the truth of reality without going, oh, I have to escape and meditate just to survive. If you're meditating, it's like only to self-heal. Okay, like it's like to fill your body with marshmallow after you just got stabbed, you know? Like, it's bad. So, like, and then that's where the healing energy will come through. And that's what Gryffindor still Gryffindor is like, yeah, we still need tea for it, big time, because we're under attack, so we're like Gryffindor heal, Gryffindor, like Gabriel heal, Gabriel heal, Gabriel heal, over and over and over. Whereas Ravenclaw's like get across the abyss, like obey God, just like get like flee, you know. Go get God, go get the Calvary, figure it out, you know. Thus, the good fighter is able to secure himself against defeat, but cannot make certain of defeating the enemy. Yeah, get your finances intact. Get your taxes intact. Get your lies intact. I'm looking at myself like I don't even know if I have any lies other than the horror show that could have manifested on this planet. Good and bad. So I don't really want to share that. So I don't know if that's a lie or not. Hence the saying, one may know how to conquer without being able to do it. So knowing how to conquer and being able to conquer are two separate ball games. Like, I know how to conquer. We will see if I'm able. I need to conquer all of Hollywood. Period. And then I need to conquer the planetary consciousness. I need to conquer a lot just to like get a school made so that crystal children don't commit suicide. Intelligence, defense, one half the battle. So half the battle is spent in intelligent defense. I wonder if the intelligence, this is a Ravenclaw teaching. What if the intelligence and the defense were the same? Would it be one half the battle or would it be the whole battle? It might be the whole battle. All right. Security against defeat implies defensive tactics. Ability to defeat the enemy means taking the offensive. So this is where they were like, yeah, the best defense is a good offense. No. No. Because the best defense is the best defense. And then you can strike. But if your entire defense is just striking, you're going to end up in a prison. Standing on the defensive indicates insufficient strength. Attacking, a superabundance of strength. So I might be in insufficient strength territory because I'm still standing on the defense. But as I'm in Gabriel and Gryffindor, I'm starting to acquire strength. Therefore, I might be able to move forward and start on the offensive, but not aggressively. So, standing on the attack is a superabundance of strength. I want to rewrite that and say reckless. Because it's kind of like the firebending master in Korra, who goes, that general who is over attacking and over aggressive is just gonna, in their recklessness, burn down everything, including their own team. So here we have confidence, defensiveness. So the more the defense, the lower the confidence. Maybe it's defensiveness, because I think this. The stronger my self-defense, like the stronger my immune system, the more confident I actually am. So that's a little weird. And I think that might be the difference between a female with a holistic brain that goes, a healthy ecosystem is a strong defense, and that creates confidence. Okay. So it must be defensiveness. So where it's like any attack that comes your way, you go in a flounder because you're insecure. And that's something else, you know? All right. The general who is skilled in defense hides in the most secret recesses of the earth. That's true. He who is skilled in attack flashes forth from the topmost heights of heaven. We've got something good here, you know. Thus, on the one hand, we have the ability to protect ourselves. On the other, a victory that is complete. This is very clear as like a good, strong understanding of the tree. It is from the lower planes that we need to have adequate self-defense. Period. So like the lower parts of the tree, our body needs better self-defense. So we need to have a healthier system, a stronger foundation, a strong ground to stand on. Period. When we climb the tree from the heavens, we have higher intelligence, we might have a cavalry, and there comes forward the chariot, which is God's act of war. Know that. So here in Gaebra, the chariot sits right above Gaebra. So you should be acquiring intelligence from the black and white dragons. You should be acquiring intelligence from the black and white panthers, jaguars. You should be acquiring intelligence from the griffins, the black and white griffins. Because what is going to probably happen is as you ascend the tree, once you hit Bina, you can go to war. And then once you hit the crown, man, game over. Let's read that again. The general who is skilled in defense hides in the most secret recesses of the earth. This is where Lucifer Yoda likes to understand the realms of hell and all the little secret nooks. Because secret for safety. Period. And then he who is skilled in attack flashes forth from the topmost heights of the heaven. So Lucy needed to gain with the white dragon to be able to attack from the heavens with righteousness instead of demonness. So, and this is a really old Tantra magic, is like you take care of all the stuff down here, and then you can climb, and then you have nothing left that's in your way that has icky karma. It means like you could literally burn down a planet like Khaleesi and have no karma. Because you did the work and no one else did. So, and that's why Drogon would bring her back to life, you know? Thus, on the one hand, we have ability to protect ourselves. On the other, a victory that is complete. Hide and seek. So why is it men are like, I'm going to try to stab Khaleesi and see what I can do to get away with it? Like, that's where their brain goes. Not like burn down Khaleesi, not like hurt her in the flames, not like ask for divine fire from God. No, it's just stab her. Because that's all a man, or shoot her, you know? That's all a man can think. Because a man has like zero brain. All right, small children and masters of surprise. Hide and seek. So here we have small children. And we got masters of surprise. Hide, seek. So we go. Man, that was a strategy warfare game. Hide and seek. I think that Elaine and I... Elaine's Christmas tree is literally the magic rainbow Christmas tree that Ravenclaw has understood and downloaded from Yoda. So it's pretty awesome. This is why, you know? She'll just go straight into Ravenclaw like it's nothing. She gets so I'll download magic. Like I'll download like entire like instruction manuals from the dragons. And this is like after 20, let's just say, I don't know, a few hundred hours over a specific lesson. Maybe 1,000 hours over practice in a specific lesson. And there's not, like, from my perspective, there is not one person on earth doing this magic or downloading these teachings from the dragons. Because I look, and I haven't seen anything, you know? Just like I never saw anything about 5-strand DNA with the Kabbalah, or that the Kabbalah in the dragon egg shape was the Adam Cadman activation. Like they're very specific teachings that are quite profound that I haven't really seen anywhere. And I haven't seen or heard people talking about them. So they're very clear dragon downloads. Elaine, so I'll have like 500 hours of instruction and downloads for a specific topic from my guides. And Elaine gets like the download in a dream. And then she goes, "Oh, look, look at this is what my dragon looked like, or this is what my thing." And I go, "Yeah, you're the only person on Earth, the only one that makes me feel not crazy." Ravenclaw Nexa, anti-crazy making. So it's the people who spontaneously, out of the blue, like understand the 500 hours of crazy shit you do. Those will be the Ravenclaws. That's why there's no such thing as a Ravenclaw muggle, you know? None. It's like you are psychic or you're not. And if you're like psychic and you're like you get the downloads, it creates a bond because it's anti-crazy making. So it's like it's about building bridges and connections with people, especially intelligent women, instead of breaking them down, demeaning them with no common sense, no pragmatism, no nothing. So, man, Elaine is like Elaine makes me feel like I could probably be doing this class for like her and the Tara, because they were the first two that were here with me, like during the hunger strike, and the Taro, like during the 6 months of building Malkuth. And I was like, "I'm sorry, Christine." And she goes, "Fine by me, more Malkuth." Punch, like that kind of energy. So I could be doing this class for probably just them and feel like I'm the smartest woman on the planet because they are intelligent women. And so I judge my state by my audience. So, like, if my audience was sycophants, or my audience were, like, idiot morons, and there were a lot of them, I would probably feel like this was not what we were intending. But if my audience is like hyper intelligent, common sense Wonder Women, I'm like, even if they're just 2 of them, and then some more students come along like Kelly and the twins and stuff, and so I'm just like hyper intelligent women, Wonder Women, and even if it's just a handful, it's still better than anything else I've seen. Like, so, especially if I can be a breath of fresh air to women who've been around the block, that to me, I'm just going to pretend I'm an old lady. But I've got a real old soul, so it kind of is the same boat. But I'm just going to pretend I'm a real old lady. And I've seen the crap on this planet for the last 50 to 60 years. Because when you're 10, you don't start seeing the crap on this planet till you're like in the teens, you know? So like So we're talking like, let's say I'm 80 to 90, okay? Let's say I've seen the crap on this planet for 50 to 60 years. To be fair and to be honest, I don't think anybody until they're about 30 really sees the crap on this planet. And that's when the fuck off fairy shows up, is the 30, you know? So 50 to 60 years of just seeing all of it, and you're like, I don't have any patience for anything. Period. Try telling old women that have seen and experienced all the bullshit from men for decades, and seen all the excuses and all the philandering, and they're just like, mm-mm. Just there, you guys, there is no fooling me, you know? So if I'm going to pretend I'm in that space, and then some little psychic witches come along, and they're like back-breaking workhorses and funny and smart, or even just kind of spriteful and like filled with life, those people would be my breath of fresh air. So I would aspire in my life to be that breath of fresh air for some old women that are hyper intelligent, than to be anything else. Like if I can just, you know. So that's my inspiration. And then I think in like, even in the long run, if none of them existed, they do exist, but if none of them existed, I would prefer that my younger self, and this is for you young kids to look at, to really do it, okay? Your young self to impress and enliven your old self. Man, if your young self can like inspire, uplift, enlighten, and offer breaths of fresh air to your old self, then you're probably in the game. If you can't, if you're playing by matrix agendas and rules, if you're not like, if you're if you're really like complicit and complacent, and complicit by standards of society, instead of like go get 'em attitude, go to war, like fuck the man, you know? Pure rebellion in every capacity. Man, don't be a stupid girl. If like, understand, if a man is literally not willing to die for you, just probably don't invest any energy romantically ever. And even if a man is willing to die for you, it's probably not true, and they'll pull out when the push comes to shove. There are men who actually will. There are men who will change for you, but they're few and far between. So we will see. We will see. Now, no, like, it was the men who showed up on the beach for me that I'm like, okay, Those were like God's people. The men who wouldn't show up on the beach for me. Do you know how many men argued with me? Argued. And tried to tell me like that they were the master of the universe. That's the spiritual disease of which I want to throw into the lava as fast as possible. That's a crime, you know? All right, let's continue. All of that leads up to this. To see victory only when it is within the ken of the common herd is not the acme of excellence. That's exactly what I'm communicating. All right? How fun. I would rather be the Khaleesi to Lady Olenna. Or the even Arya, right? I'd rather be Khaleesi or Arya to Lady Olenna than anything else. I'd rather be smart, cunning, fun, witty, and to Lady Olenna than a puppet to anybody on this planet. I would rather be that to Lady Olenna starving and homeless than fuel a matrix system just to say fuck you to the man. And many people would call me insane for that. And I go, you guys are insane for fueling systems that have no functionality. In fact, mine is the definition of not insanity, and your guys is the definition of verbatim insanity. Continuing to perpetuate systems that have consistently proven that do not work. So, that. The matrix system, cutting down trees, not freeing Willie, animal abuse, eating meat. Just eating meat should be cut it out as much as possible. All of these are systems that have consistently proven to be demonic and futile, and yet 90% of the Western populace still adopts them. It's pretty insane. Neither is it the acme of excellence if you fight and conquer and the whole empire goes, well done. So it's like political glad handing. Just don't go there, you know? Especially when the whole empire is on a failing planet. A win only on paper, commonplace, simple, easy A's. All right, in Gryffindor, we aspire to a hard C way before we would ever aspire to an easy A. We would rather fail and get punched in the face and maybe stabbed in the gut than continue to live a life of mediocrity. And then I go, it's pretty mediocre where I'm at right now. And I need to uplift myself even stronger. Probably by like working off of the clippeth tree and gritting it even deeper. So we will see. But with my magic, Lilith's magic, and Elaine's magic, I feel like I'm finally getting solid ground to like move forward. I have this new root chakra energy that feels like light is moving through it instead of fear and darkness. So that's we'll see where I'm at there. All right. To uplift an autumn hair is no sign of great strength. To see the sun and moon is no sign of sharp sight. To hear the noise of thunder is no sign of a quick ear. I feel like to conquer Hollywood. To conquer Hollywood is no sign of an angel. Or an archangel. So, honestly, an angel should be able to conquer the planet. An archangel. You just have to understand, one angel should equal 7 billion demons. The intelligence, the connection to God, the level of light, it should be like one angel, 7 billion demons. Because it's unity consciousness. And those 7 billion demons are predictable and demons, so they're all self-destructive. So they're already operating off of false and weak foundations. So as a human trying to be an angel, we will see. So just Khaleesi was an angel. That's why she didn't burn in the fire. She was a seraphim. And she could burn down a planet. She could literally conquer the planet. People didn't want to think that she was an angel because she burned down the planet. But that's because they were demons. Like, nobody gets that. All right, looks effortless, requires true skill, modern art. I'm talking about Khaleesi right now. Like, it looks effortless what she did. Nobody knows. Like, do you even know what it would be required to have the access to portal and dragon eggs? Do you even know the level of consciousness required to have dragons love and trust you? Do you even know the level of consciousness required to not burn in the fire? Do you know these levels of consciousness? Do you do them physically? Because I know the levels of consciousness on my end, like 40,000 plus hours of blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm not even close, you know? So, after 40,000 hours of blood, sweat, and tears, psychic that will tell my mother she's on her last lifetime, right? So, like, I'm at like Christ level consciousness. Like, all right, starved to death on a beach for, like, doesn't matter, you know? Still, no dragon egg, no dragon. And I'm wondering, I'm like, what's the level of consciousness required to produce it? Mind blown. And then I go, and afterwards, if everybody's not going, I'm bending the knee, hail Khaleesi, after like 500,000 hours of divinity training. And everybody's not like, yeah, we're bending the knee. I'm going to go burn that planet down. Because there's like zero respect. Zero respect for all of it. Those people can't produce anything of value, won't bend the knee, won't heed God's warning, or the God produced a dragon out of the blue. Won't listen? That's a demon. So, looks effortless, requires true skill. Modern art. Yeah, so those people would be the Antichrist. Because the Christ, that Gryffindor, to produce a griffin, you need to be a griffin, you know? And dragons are griffins. And people would rather think that their Matrix Muggle life is acceptable and cut down a tree and then stab Khaleesi in the gut and call her evil, and then call her the Antichrist. That's the demon, you know. Okay, we're going back here. Looks effortless, requires true skill, modern art. This is like all ballerinas, artists, designers, anybody of actual value that can do anything of true skill. It's like, I'm just like what I'm saying. A demon will look at 500,000 hours of service and training and then throw it away like it was nothing. That's the Antichrist energy. And kill it and slay it because they don't understand it, but it doesn't look good to them. And it's pretty gross and pretty demonic. And it's condemning children for their art. Or masters, like looking at Raphael or Michelangelo and going, I don't like that because I like modern art. That's just Antichrist to me. And that's pretty much what everybody did to Khaleesi. She was like Michelangelo. She produced dragon dragons, and then they cut her down because she got angry. And one of her dragons got shot down. So she burns down an entire village after warning them that that's what she was going to do. So this is very much like having the ability to force healthy boundaries and enforce healthy boundaries, especially as a mom, you know? Everyone thought that she was cruel. But when you are in a state of an active war, and you know those people are going to be your enemies, that's not really cruelty. Especially when she's offering warning ahead of time. So they had the options to flee, and they didn't take it. And instead, she burns down the city because at that point, they were literally saying, we're siding with the enemy. So we're siding with Cersei. And that's like, there's no room for virtue in siding with Cersei at all. Okay. He who wins his battles by making no mistake. I'm sorry. He wins his battles by making no mistakes. Making no mistakes is what establishes for certainty of victory. For it means conquering an enemy that is already defeated. Hence, the skillful fighter puts himself into a position which makes defeat impossible and does not miss the moment for defeating the enemy. Goofs and flubs. Losers. So, my problem is when I flub or I get too comedic and I lose sight. And where comedy and humor can be seen as a virtue coming from Gebera, it has been very rare that coming through with a comedic tone has ever like honed my energy to put me in the zone. So let's say I'm in circus or gymnastics. It's the days where I would crack jokes or have fun were the days that I injured myself or flubbed. So I might crack jokes here and there to like lighten up the energy. But understand this. That level of, if it's not in reverence, or if it's not like a healing moment, it's pretty inappropriate. So, now, let me communicate this. A royal family coming to me, telling me I better get out of their country or they're going to stab me to death is a little different, especially psychically, is a little different than Khaleesi coming in with dragons as an act of actual war in an actual state of war where there's no snake-like behavior. With a corrupt queen who she is going to take power away from. that has done numerous amounts of harm all over Westeros. It's a little different, don't you think? So the same logic doesn't really apply when you're not on God's side or even intelligence's side. Thus, it is that in war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won. Whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. All right, let's reread that. Thus it is that in war, that the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won. I believe when he says after the victory has been won in the logical analysis of everything. Whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. Oh, let's reread that. Thus it isn't that, I'm sorry, you guys, I flubbed this. So I'm going through this page by page with you in now time instead of doing the homework, digesting the teaching, and then doing the video the next day. But we'll get to that in Kabbalah 99 3/4. And it will be a whole new Art of War series. All right. Thus it is that in war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. So I'm pretty sure this is that law of attraction, you get what you expect. So if you don't if you're not showing up as a victor, you aren't gonna be a victor. So even with my hunger strike, it was I pulled one tarot card. And it was victory. Period. And if I had pulled any other tarot card, even if I've been slaughtered, right? Maybe this is a 2, 3, or 4-year war. I don't know. But I showed up as a victor and not as a defeated one. So you better show up to your battles as the winner. And let me communicate this clearer, because I don't think any of you guys understand. I was in a CIF champion, ranked 11th in the nation field hockey team. We were legit. We showed up on the field as winners. And that's how we won. And the times we showed up not as winners is when we got ranked 11th in the nation. It's that. You show up as a winner. Knowing God's got your back, knowing dragons have your back, knowing galaxies and planets have your back, and you win. Period. And you slaughter. And that's the 5 of Swords. It's those cheap shots where you're like, you've got to be on your toes and go, how do I make sure I never take those cheap shots? How do I make sure I'm protected from those cheap shots? And at the worst, how do I heal myself when I have taken those cheap shots? Learn real fast, climb out of that hell, and then win more. So you've got to be on your A game all day long. So this is where, like, striving for this hard C's will get you in better shape than acquiring a million easy A's. A million easy A's offers no reward. But the struggle of getting a hard C creates muscle. Impulsive. Emotional. The opposite of leadership. So I get a little emotional, especially when I'm taking hits. And I'm going to change that. I'm going to become a little more masculine and a little less emotional and be able to have greater strength to go into battle. And that's going to be part of this year's Christmas magic. Higher discipline, higher form, better words, better communication. And hopefully I won't take such a, I'm already strong as it is, but like I get really emotional real fast. In respect of military method, we have firstly, measurement. Secondly, estimation of quantity. Thirdly, calculation. Fourthly, balancing of chances, like 50-50 or fifthly. And then fifthly, victory. 1, measurement. 2, estimation of quantity. 3rd, calculation. 4th, balancing of the chances. 5, victory. Measurement owes its existence to Earth. Estimation of quantity to measurement. Calculation to estimation of quantity. Balancing of chances to calculation. And victory to balancing of chances. Measure, balance, calculate, estimate. Before you act, you're going to have to find, this graphic sucks. It should have been a linear graphic, which was inclusive. Okay, so measurement owes its existence to Earth. So it's like, what's going to happen? What's going on the Earth plane? Estimation of quantity owes to the measurements of Earth. Calculation owes to the estimation of quantity. And then balancing of chances owes to the calculation. And then victory is determined from here. So When I calculate my current wars, I go, fuck, they're destined to fail because these people are just going to take themselves out. So then I go, do I have a war at that level? And then I go, maybe I don't. Maybe the war is already won. Victory. A victorious army opposed to a routed one is as a pound's weight placed in the scale against a single grain. I'm trying to calculate this. The onrush of a conquering force is like the bursting of pent-up waters into a chasm of 1,000 fathoms deep. Measure often, attack once. Care in preparations, certainty of victory. So the more you prepare, the more you can just go punch and they're done. Okay, a victorious army opposed to a routed one is as a pound's weight placed in the scale against a single grain. I don't know what they mean by routed. I'm going to look it up. Oh, disorderly retreat. Okay. A victorious army compared to a retreating army is as a pound's weight of silver against a single grain of sand. That makes sense. The onrush of a conquering force is like the bursting of pent-up waters into a chasm 1,000 fathoms deep. So just think a dam gets broken open and then all the water just goes poof. So that's like Kamile and then Zodkiel supporting. Boof! And then, and wait. That's without Bina, which is even better, you know? Because that's where the real power is. Next chapter. Kaliran out.